What's going on, fellas? How the hell are ya? This is Islander. Welcome back to the island. Okay, guys, today we're going to be breaking down the dev stream, all right? I really didn't have plans to do this, but I've been getting a lot of requests on my 2 cents of the developer stream and what did I really think about it, all right? Those of y'all that are going to be new to this channel, this is where we talk about a lot of things that go on in the game, all right? We have a lot of newsroom sessions. We have a lot of corresponding. I'm a very interactive YouTuber. So when you comment, I try to comment back. If you want to hit me up on Messenger, I'm more than happy to carry on a conversation with you. So, like I said, guys, if you're new to this channel, hit that sub button. Also, hit that like for to help me out just a little bit. That bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the stuff that we're gonna have coming up. All right, guys, let's get into the thick of things. All right, the developer stream was yesterday, and we had our early predictions about what would happen with the shotgun. We knew that there was a lot of feedback against a shotgun nerf, all right? And this is where we were going to find out whether the developers were going to hear us out or were they going to do their own thing. And pretty much decided that they do their own thing. So I'm not really quite sure why our feedback is so important, all right? If they're still going to do what they're going to do anyways, okay? If that's the case, just service our plate, tell us this is what you're going to eat, and that's the end of it. Don't ask us what kind of trimmings or what kind of sides we want. So if you're sensing a little bit of agitation in my voice, yeah, it is a little agitating to go through this particular nerf. And let's be real, guys, all right? A nerf at this time does not affect me as bad as it's going to affect other people, all right? I got weapons in my hangar or in my, I guess in my hangar, right? All right, I got weapons on the shelf that are ready to go in place of the shotgun. So I'm prepared. I'm ready to move on. I have cryo weapons already set up. I got my scourges already set up. I got machine guns that are ready to go. We can try those out again to see how they fare. There's a lot of different things that I'll be able to do as far as where I'm at now. A lot of the free-to-play players, all right? And keep in mind, like I said, I keep in touch with a lot of you guys, and I get a lot of feedback. A lot of the free-to-play players that have recently obtained their shotguns, all right, built them in Workshop 2.0, upgraded them, finally got them to where they want to have them, have enjoyed them for maybe 2, 3, 4 months, all right? And here comes the axe. The axe coming down. It is the final nail in the coffin for the shotguns, all right? Or is it? We'll find out soon enough. We got to get these things on the live server and see exactly how they fare. Now, we know how they're going to fare as far as the overall longevity of a fight, all right? They're going to lose their power after that first initial burst. So you're going to be getting yourself into a lot of guerrilla warfare tactics, okay? Get out, fire your shots, get back into cover, okay? It's going to be a peekaboo style fighting with the shotguns. Now, you will have better gameplay, I believe, with maybe a pursuer. I'm not sure how long the pursuer will last in this current deal, all right? My little guy over there on the far right-hand side, you can see how tiny he is compared to the bots. Striders will probably have a good in and out probability to get some good fights in. They can dash in, get their shots off, and take a couple of 2 or 3 dashes and get the hell out of dodge, okay? Phantoms, I think, will be the overall winner here. They have the resistance. When they go in, they can take a beating, they can deliver that payload, and they can teleport their asses out of there. That is a huge plus. Not like the pursuer, you're going to go in undercover, or hope they don't have quantum radar, fire off your shots, and then you got to go run for cover, okay? So there's a big difference there. I'm going to be playing it and developing new tactics for my pursuer. Hopefully we can get something achieved. If not, my poor boy is going to have to take the shelf, okay? That's just the way the ball bounces. I have enjoyed him for a very long time. If I can come up with some tactics for him, I will. The only thing I really love to use him against now is the Ao-Jun. Now, even with elite pilots, it makes it a little bit more difficult. I have changed him up just a little bit. Those of y'all that like to know what I'm running, okay? In the modules, we've added the Battleborn, okay? Now, when I go into a fight with a bot that has resistance, I have a little bit of counter resistance of my own, okay? If I go up against a Phantom, I got a little bit. Now, of course, they got more and they're better off, okay? But I got something that can help me in that first initial 20 seconds of a fight, especially when you drop it and you run into that bot, it works really good. I've been testing it out. I do like it. The Battleborn is there. And if we can work out some tactics, he's there to stay. Now, we didn't come over here to talk about the pursuer all that much. We'll worry about that a little bit later on in the game. We're going to jump over to the developer stream, and I already got it marked, and we're going to pick up exactly where they're talking about the shotguns, because They talked about a lot of other things before that, and they answered a lot of questions after that, okay? And they developed a chart, and they're kind of showing you where the Orkans and the shock trains and power weapons of the previous meta, how they stacked up and why they brought them down, and the area or the medium range that they're trying to get bots into. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. You're gonna hear me talk about Titans. You're gonna hear me talk about overpowered weapons. You're gonna hear me talk about test server, okay? And as we go through all this, I'll be pausing the video and throwing my input into it, all right? Without further delay, let's get this bad boy started.
Okay, so let's get to the main part. The part that you all have came to the stream for. This weapon. You may not see what this weapon is, but it's actually this weapon. I just wanted to use the new version to be trendy.
That's the Halo, guys.
It's Halo, and you can actually put all the other shotguns into this category.
Okay, no, you cannot put all the other shotguns. Halo's Coronas have a lockdown effect, all right? Storms and Gusts do not have a lockdown. So they are separate entities. Although they are shotgun weapons across the board, all right, they are not the same.
So this is a representation of all the relevant shotgun weapons. So Halo, as all the weapons, has started here. And there was a moment when people didn't realize the full potential of lockdown weapons, and it's kind of tried to go up here a little bit slow, and then it's...
Okay, let's pause this for a second. Right there where he has it, you have the red dotted lines, then you have the black dotted line on top, and it kind of looks like a little street marker, okay? That is the medium range. That is what they are calling the well-balanced area. As players tend to lean towards a particular weapon and that weapon becomes OP or meta of the game, it breaks into the top right-hand corner square, which is what they are calling OP. Why he has the Orkan sitting where it's sitting, I have no idea, because that needs to be a little bit further down. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the Orkan and the shock train because they were once premier meta weapons. The cryogenic weapons are on their way up. They're not going to sit there in that middle range very long. But that is the middle range that they are calling a balanced area.
Just clicked. We gave it a couple of buffs, so it became a little bit more interesting for people to play because it actually dealt more damage than before. And it started to grow here, like go all over the place, like through here. Oh, this board is a mess.
Okay, I just want to point this out real quick. You can just hear the discouragement in his voice that he has to be the one up here delivering this news. I mean, right now the live chat is just blowing up and negative comments are flying in. His boy Stan said, "Screw that shit. I am not gonna do that. I will not be part of this this dev stream." He abandoned T over here all by himself. So T's got to deliver the message on his own, and you can just kind of sense that. Damn, I should have called in sick to work today. That it was one of those days that I'm not sick, but I should have called in. Let's keep going.
Anyway, right now all the shotgun weapons are in the same place where Orkan and Shock Train were before. And the reason is, if we talk about both of these weapons, Shock Train, Orkan, and shotguns, what makes them similar? It's not just the fact that they are too strong. If they were too strong, they would be unstoppable. I mean, every time you see someone who has these weapons, you have no chance but to use the same.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about the word too strong, as he said right now, okay? Yes, shock trains were a beast at one time, no doubt. They were dominant. Orkans were definitely, they came up with the death button. That's why the whole death button was created, was because of the Orkans. One press of the button and whatever you had in front of you would get killed, okay? Shotguns are now in that category of crazy OP, all right? But there's one factor that exists now that did not exist when the Orkans and the shock trains were out, all right? That is some big, bad motherfuckers called Titans, all right? These things are big, they're huge, they're strong, they're powerful, they got their own set of modules now, and they bring an element to the game which we've never seen or had to deal with before. So even if you were to take the Orkans now and put them at their max potential, and take the shock trains now and put them back to the original highlight of their day where they had that ridiculous power, okay? And you fire that shock train and hit a maxed Ao-Ming or hit a maxed Arthur, what exactly and how much damage are you going to do that? I'm not talking about a level 1 now, guys. All right, let's just be clear. Because when level 1 and maxed out are way different. All right, it's night and day. It's apples and oranges. It's peanut butter and onions. Things that just don't belong together. All right. So if you were to take maxed out Orkans also and put them on something and fire off into, I mean, even an Arthur, which has over 1 million health, how much damage are you going to do to that big bad boy before he drops one of those smelly ass onion farts and just devours you, okay? Before he lays into you with those big ass guns that show no mercy, no quarter whatsoever, okay? So we can actually take everything off of this medium level and put it back to the highlight of its day, and you're still not going to be effective against a maxed out Titan, all right? And you're going to hear me say this a few more times throughout this video, all right? You need something to be able to fight back against a Titan, all right? And I have big guns on some of my bots, all right? I have the Ao-Jun with the glaciers, and let me tell you what, guys, it took 8 passes from that Glacier Ao-Jun MK212 with all the bells and whistles and trimmings and pilot skills and everything. 8 passes on an Ao-Ming before I finally dropped his ass. 4-point-something minutes, 4 minutes and 17 or 30 seconds before I was able to take that big bird out. All right, that's a hell of a long time in the game. There's no way in hell they should have that much. Okay, so if anything that is in the game that is throwing the balance cycle off, it's not a shotgun, it's not an Orkan, it's not some premium metal weapon. All right, it is the brand new additions to the game that we now have. And once they get maxed out, and those of y'all that have not faced them, you're going to find out soon enough. Those of y'all that have know exactly what the hell I'm talking about.
There's one interesting thing about this system. I think its main weak part of the system is that it requires time for us to catch up with the actual balance of things. Because in our state, in our data, it can show like the damage is okay. Like the win rate, even if we showed just now that win rate is not any kind of indicative metric for all this time. I mean, to get the idea how powerful the weapon is, we need you guys to catch up and figure out the real power of this weapon, to learn.
Okay, now let's talk about this. Now, those of y'all that frequent my channel very often, you've heard me say this, and I am about to sound like a broken ass record. T, my boy, all right? It does not start 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months down the line where you start receiving data, okay? This data needs to start being acquired in the test server, all right? Level MK1, level 8 is not the optimal testing level. I'm sorry. Say what you want. Sell that ice to another Eskimo, all right? That shit don't float here. MK1 level 8 is not the range to be testing weapons. Those weapons need to be at MK212 maxed out with all the pilot skills, maxed out modules, all right? All the bells and whistles need to be on that particular bot or particular weapon so that when it comes to the live server, we know exactly how powerful it is. We know exactly what kind of beast it can become. At MK1 level 8 to MK212, we can only speculate how bad it's going to be or how evil how sinister that weapon is going to be when it hits the maxed out levels. So you're going to wait from A to Z and all that time in between and what's going on. Players are investing. Players are investing time. They're investing their silver. They're investing gold. They're grinding. And they're getting these weapons up to where they want them to be just so you can come and bring the big ass panda axe, all right, and chop the damn weapon down. That's not right. That's the issue. And we're going to put things into this little middle category over here that you have that looks like a little street, okay? That it needs to start on the test server. That's where we need to start the testing. All right, this is how powerful it's going to be. Well, you know what? It's too damn strong. Let's chew it down a little bit. We need to put it into that road right away so that when players max out that weapon, max out that robot, okay, we don't have to come back and say later on, say, well, we need to change the balance on it. There should not be a nerf or a buff to any weapon if we balance it correctly right off the bat from the test server, and you'll never hear the bitching, moaning, complaining, and all the crap that us players throw at you guys every time one of these things happen. Let's get the test server off level MK1 level 8 and put it where it belongs, all right? Let's max it out. The reason why we're there is to test the new stuff. Well, let's test it out thoroughly and find out how bad is this badass gonna be.
How to play it, and so on and so forth. So it actually introduces some kind of delay before we see that the weapon is too strong. So this is why it takes a little bit longer for us to catch up with buffs or nerfs, which is definitely a weak thing and a weak part of this strategy, and we need to address this.
Well, I just addressed it for you, homie.
Still,
that's how we can fix this. That is how we can fix this.
Shotguns, Halo, Corona Glory, Gust, Storm, and Thunder. Thunder is older, but still. Same Orkan and Shock Train. What makes them similar? They're very versatile because at least in the meta we are present in, which is now very close to mid-range oriented meta, all the shotguns are basically, besides maybe Thunder, are like one size fits it all. You don't need any other weapons to shine on the battlefield. You just need all these weapons to do something. And this makes it so all other weapons are not that interesting and not that popular and not that...
All right, all these weapons are versatile. You need no other weapon to shine. Now, if the Titans were not in the game, if the Titans were not here, and you're going to keep hearing me go back to the Titans because Titans are a key factor here. If we did not have these big badasses in the game, okay, then yes, it is time to nerf the shotguns because they are too powerful. All right, they're at where they're at, and yeah, it's time to tone them down just a little bit. Although we should have done that in the test server, but we don't have that part implemented yet. Hopefully they'll pick up on some of this and put that test server where it belongs. But let's not go back to the test server, okay? The difference between the shotguns now and the Orkans and the shock trains of the past, all right, is not just the Titans, but now we have resistance, okay? Certain bots come in, leeches, phantoms, the evil as T-Falcon, okay? Certain of the Titans have resistance to firepower, okay? Now, the Titans have the resistance mitigation on their weapons, which means if you have a leech and they shoot you, that shot, there is no resistance, all right? Because they have the mitigation that's going to balance it out, so they're hitting you with direct power. So you will stand helpless when you're facing an Ao-Jun with the big-ass Dragoon weapons, okay? He will put your MK212 leech with resistance, active ability on. He will put you in your last stand in 3 shots and nail your ass on the 4th as soon as you come out of that last stand. They are that powerful, all right? They are that strong. And with the modules, who knows, all right? I may be a little test video just so you can see how evil these things are when they're fully maxed. They're disgusting, okay? So the difference that we had before then and now is resistance in the game. So even if you were to take all these weapons and put them back at their original glory, all right, they still got to deal with the monsters of the game, and they still got to deal with resistance. So if you got up against a leech and you have a leech and both of you all have coronas and you're all maxed out, bells and whistles, and you fire at each other with resistance, how far does your damage go down? It doesn't go down very far, does it? You got to wait till that other bot comes out of his ability to start firing off to get your good damage in. So remember that, guys. Resistance is a key point here. That's not something that's not being mentioned.
Not needed at all. And this makes the game very stale, very static, and...
Okay, 1, it does not make the game very stale, all right? People are using other weapons. People are using scourges. There's a lot of scourges still in the game. They are using the shotguns. They are using the new cryo weapons. And when the new atomizer comes out, they will be using that too. All right. People are gonna use the new stuff no matter what. I'm using it. A lot of the other players are using it. Once they find out how effective it is, remember, there is no corner shooting with shotguns, but you can corner shoot the hell out of somebody with the cryo weapons and freeze them on spot, giving them the additional 40% damage. So I disagree with the stealth comment.
Doesn't allow for any moving forward, and that's why we need to do something about these weapons. And there were multiple options. What we can do about Halo, Corona, Glory, we could just lower its damage, because on the damage metric, it's also above all the regular weapons.
Okay, let's talk about the damage for a second now. All right. Most of the complaints were that these things are too powerful, even at 500 meters, 450 meters, 400 meters, 350 meters. Okay, if that's the case, then we have options here for sure. You can reduce that weapon to 350 meters instead of having to 500 meters, so it can't even shoot anybody at 500 meters. Okay, you could also remove the pilot skill ability that tightens the grouping by 20%. Get it out of there. All right. The shotgun is a point blank weapon. It is for up close and personal. It is the best 100 meter fighter that there is. Okay. What kills this gun and is going to put it from that top square up top all the way down to the bottom is not the damage. It's not the distance. It's not the grouping. It's the reload time. 2 seconds to reload. That means while you're taking 2 seconds to reload, I'm going to fill you up with 2 seconds worth of Scourge, and your ass is going to get lit up. Okay? It's going to take you 10 seconds to reload while I'm just lighting your ass up with Scourges or with cryo weapons or with any other weapon that's good, with the atomizer that has unlimited ammo. You're taking 2 seconds to reload. That's where you're going to have to come in with that whole peekaboo style and the up close and personal. All right? It doesn't drag the game down. The up close and personal fighting enhances the game. All right? It's a face-to-face and using little tactical cover here and there, but within 100 to 200 meters of using cover, it's an awesome fight
that we have. But this is not a very great option for one single reason. Even if we lower its damage, it still remains a very versatile, like universal weapon that you can use for any situation. But it just becomes worse. It just becomes like a bad, but still versatile weapon that you can use for any situation. And we went back to the drawing board, kind of like this one, but a little bit less messy, and tried to figure out what we can do with these weapons to not make it like outright bad, to not let it move to this part, but to still make it feel powerful, interesting, and stay with this like fantasy of shotgun. What the shotgun remember what the fantasy of shotgun in the video games usually is. For example, I don't know if you played games like Doom or any other first-person shooter. In these games, shotgun is something that you can use to go ham, basically, to get up close and personal with your enemy and shoot point blank and make it so like jeeps fly all over the place. So it's like your ultimate close combat weapon that is very powerful, that is very strong, that is like devastating once you get close to your enemy, but it requires you to get close. So this is what we stuck with. So, like, this is the idea that we have chosen to go with. So instead of just lowering the damage, we increased the damage instead. Also, we increased the rate of fire. What we decreased, we made the shot dispersion bigger, and we made it so the weapon is more closely oriented to burst. So to deal a lot of damage, you need to attack in like hit and run fashion. So you get close and personal to your enemy.
So let's talk about the hit and run fashion, what he's talking about, okay? The hit and run fashion is not going to exist on the leech, all right? We will test it out once we get all these changes come in. But the hit and run fashion is not a leech-oriented deal, all right? The hit and run fashion is going to be pursuers, striders, blitzes, Phantom. Should have a field day. And those of y'all that saw me on the last test server, I showed you, all right? There is a test server this weekend, but there were no numbers, which tell me the numbers are staying the same and everything's going to be identical. A larger dispersion, okay? But the killer is the 1.8 to 2 seconds of reload time. That's where the killer is.
You deal a lot of damage in a short period of time, and you go to the, for example, try to sail or try to hide, wait when your weapon is reloaded.
10 seconds later.
Again. And yes, this makes this weapon less, more skill intense. You have to...
No, it does not make it more skill intense, all right? What it makes it is go out, fire your shots, go hide. Come out, fire your shots, and go hide, all right? That is going to make a game stale. Instead of getting in the fight, trading punches, swapping hands, all right, and may the best man who uses the best tactics or the best abilities, whatever you want to call it, wins the fight and moves on. Now you got a fight that would have been done in a matter of 10, 15 seconds, dragging out to 45 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds. All right, it drags it out longer than it actually should. Don't forget, you still have the resistance. You still have phase shift. You have all this stuff that's going to drag that fight out even longer, okay? Now, let's not make any mistake. I'm not talking about a clan taking on a bunch of randoms, which it doesn't matter what transpires. A clan is gonna generally win that match in a few minutes anyways, regardless of what they do, okay? You're talking about when you're matched up against another player, whether it be free-for-all, whether it be team deathmatch, how does this fight play out?
Move actively. You have to show how things are done. But this still synergizes pretty well with all the robots that are actually using shotguns, at least right now in the meta. Things like...
Okay, and let's go ahead and continue. As this fight drags out, as the fight gets longer, all right, you renew your abilities, whether it be phase shift or quantum or whatever it is, all right, thus using additional power cells that you would not have used in the initial 15 seconds of the fight. You may have used it one time, all right, but you're not going to drag it out for 30, 40 seconds, all right, using that same phase shift 2 or 3 times.
Phantom, Leech, Ravener, maybe Strider. I still want people to play Strider. All the robots that can attack and find some way.
And this is what we were talking about earlier, the little speed bots.
Robots that have some ability or built-in like invulnerability or protection or something like this that allow them to stay in the fight or get out of the fight. And what else can I add? I think, yes, we can get to the questions.
Yes, get to the questions. Okay, so we're going to close this out now and jump back over to the game, all right? And everything that I went over here, guys, is my point of view, is the point of view of a few of you players out there that take the time to hit me up on Messenger and tell me what your thoughts are. Now, a vast majority of the community is against the shotguns nerf, all right? There is a strong handful that are for them, all right? And you got your entitled to your opinion, guys. Those of y'all that want the shotgun nerf, you ain't gonna get any bad feedback from me, all right? This is not a type of deal where if you're not with us, you're against us. No, hell no. We don't roll like that here, all right? This is where everybody comes and you get to voice your opinion. You get to say what's on your mind. I read your comments. I read your feedback. As long as you're not a toxic ass, you're welcome here. If you're going to be toxic, we just throw your ass right on out. But I love the conversation that I have here. A lot of debates go on here. I have my point of view, and you have your point of view. And a lot of you guys are out there, have been in this game just as long as I have, and are just as experienced as I am in this game. So we have good, solid little conversations and debates. And trust me, guys, I love every single one of them, all right? So this is my 2 cents, all right, on the developer stream and the shotgun nerf, all right? I want your feedback on my feedback and let me know, am I on the money or am I off the mark, okay? You give me your feedback as well on the shotguns. So I'm looking forward to some of these conversations. I will be at work all night tonight, but I will have my phone with me and handy So I'm looking forward to trading a little bit of conversation with you guys, all right? I was going to do a little bit of gameplay, but we already dragged this game out for about 30 minutes. So we're going to come back and do a little gameplay probably tomorrow sometime, all right? We'll come back and just have a few rounds of free-for-all or whatever, and we'll have a little bit of fun. Until next time. Not until next time. I really want to do the gameplay. No, we're not going to do the gameplay. All right, I just got thrown off track there. All right, guys. So like I said, once again, y'all hit me up and let me know what you thought. And we'll go ahead and bring an end to this video. Guys, if you're new to this channel, hit that sub button. Also, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the stuff you're going to have coming up here. And if you did like this video, guys, knock the hell out of the like. I really do appreciate it, and it does help me out. You should see my palm tree popping up on the screen right about this time. Just tap that palm tree, and that will lead you right over to the subscribe. And until we talk again, boys and girls, this is Islander signing out.